Hi class, Mr. Cardinal here with lesson 4 from chapter 8, multiplying mixed numbers. Today's objective is to find the product of two mixed numbers. And as you recall, product is the vocabulary term for the answer to a multiplication problem. The only difference between yesterday's lesson on finding the product of fractions and today's lesson is that you are now working with mixed numbers. There are step-by-step instructions to follow to multiply mixed numbers, very similar to what we have had in the past. First of all, it's always a good idea to estimate. When you estimate, you are given a close proximity to the correct answer, so you can compare your answer with your estimate to see how close you actually are. Make sure that you write each number as an improper fraction. So we will talk about how to get an improper fraction from a mixed number. We will also look for common factors and simplify, similar to what we did with our multiplying of two fractions. And of course, once you have your common factors and you simplify, you multiply the numerators and then the denominators, and then change improper fractions into mixed numbers if need be. So I'm going to share with you a couple examples. First of all, I'll leave my step-by-step instructions there. Let's say you are hiking for 3 days, and you hike 2.5 miles each day. So I'm going to multiply my 3 by 2.5. First of all, if I look at this and take care of my estimate, I know that 3, of course, will remain 3, and my 2.5 will become 3. So my estimate, if I use rounding, is going to equal 9. So I know my answer should be relatively close to 9. I could do two things. First of all, I'm going to do my step-by-step instructions from up above. So letter B says now to write each number as an improper fraction. 3 is already an improper fraction because 3 as a fraction is 3 over 1. When I multiply it by 2.5, 2.5 needs to be changed to an improper fraction. You do so by taking 2 times 2 and then adding 1. So 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. My denominator stays the same as 2. Letter C says look for common factors and simplify. In this case, and again I do my little crisscross here, 3 and 2 I don't have a common factor, 1 and 5 I don't have a common factor other than 1. So I now go ahead and follow step D, which says multiply the numerators. So 3 times 5 is 15. Multiply my denominators. 1 times 2 is 2. And then letter F, change improper fractions into mixed numbers. I have a 15 over 2. So 15 divided by 2 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. I have 1 left over, so my denominator stays the same at 2. So the correct answer is 7.5. My estimate is 9, relatively close. Another way of doing this, and it's not mentioned in the step-by-step instructions up above because this is the relatively easiest method of solving for the product of mixed numbers, but I can also work the distributive property. Now the distributive property again states that if I am multiplying 3, I can take my 3 that I'm multiplying and I can break up my whole number and my fraction. So I can take 3 times 2 and I can also take 3 times 1/2 and add those together to get my answer. So if I were to do this, my 3 times 2 is 6, and now I have to do my 3 times 1/2, and remember my 3 is 3 over 1, so if I multiply straight across I have 3 halves, and 3 halves as a mixed number is 1 and 1/2. So now I have 6 plus 1 1/2, which would equal 7 1/2. So again, distributive property would be another way of solving for the product of two mixed numbers. But for our purposes today, we will mostly be using the step-by-step instructions from up above. Now, I'm going to go over a couple more examples with you so that you are able to see a couple more problems written. Let's start with 3 1/12. And I'm going to multiply 3 1/12 by 6. Now, again, I can do distributive property. Again, I'll show you both ways. I have 3 times 6, so I'm breaking it up. And I have 6 times, and I'm adding that to 6 times 1/12. 6 times 3 is 18. 6 over 1, remember, simplify. 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into 12 twice. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So I have 18 plus 1/2, so my answer is going to be 18 1/2. Forgot to do my estimate. If I look at 1/12, that's going to keep 3 the same. So 3 times 6 is 18. So my estimate would be 18. And 18 is, of course, very close to 18 1/2. Now, if I do this same problem by multiplying my numerators and denominators, like we have our step-by-step instructions up above, write each number as an improper fraction. So if I take my 3 1/12, and I write that as an improper fraction, I'm going to take 3 times 12, which is 36, plus 1, so 37 over 12. And I'm going to multiply that by 6 over 1. Now, looking at this, I can do my simplifying. So again, I'm on step C up above. Look for common factors and simplify. 6 and 12. 6 goes into both. 6 goes into 6 once. 6 goes into 12 twice. 37 and 1, can't simplify. 37 and 2, can't simplify. So now I'm going to multiply straight across. I have 37 over 2. And I did my multiplying of my numerators, multiplying of my denominators. Now I'm on step F, which is change improper fractions into mixed numbers. So I have my 2 and 37. Now, if I look at this, I know that 17 times 2 is 34. 18 times 2 is 36. 19 times 2 is 38, which is too much. So I am going to do 18, which again is 36. I have 1 left over, and 2. And again, as we see from over here, we know that 18 1/2 is what we got the first time when we did the distributive property. So again, I'm showing you both ways so that you can see how the distributive property works and also how our step-by-step instructions from up above on changing fractions into improper, or mixed numbers into improper fractions works when multiplying. Let's do another example problem. I'm going to take 5 1/4, and I'm going to multiply this by 1 4/7. Again, I'm just simply going to do the improper fraction way from my step-by-step instructions from up above. 5 1/4, the 1/4 is going to keep 5 the same when I estimate. The 4/7, remember half of 7 as we talked about before, take a look at the denominator. half of 7 is 3.5. 4 is greater than 3.5, so my 1 is going to become a 2. So my estimate is equal to 10. Now, to find the correct answer, I'm going to write each number as an improper fraction. So 5 1/4, I'm going to take 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. Denominator stays the same. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 is 11. Denominator stays the same. I'm going to now look for common factors. Between 4 and 11, there is no common factor. However, there is between 7 and 21. 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 21 3 times. When I multiply my numerators straight across, step D from up above, 3 times 11 is 33. Step E, multiply my denominators, 4 times 1 is 4. Now, when I simplify this problem, I know that 8 times 4 is 32. So I'm going to have 1 left over. My denominator stays the same. So the correct answer is 8 1/4. And again, my estimate was 10, relatively close. And again, an estimate is an estimate. One last example. Let's do 2 5/6 times 9. Again, my estimate, this 2 5/6 would become 3. My 9 would stay 9. So 3 times 9 equals 27. Step B, up above, write each number as an improper fraction. 2 5/6 would be 17, because 6 times 2 is 12, plus 5 is 17 over 6. My 9 is already an improper fraction when I put it over 1. Next, look for common factors and simplify. Again, this goes back to yesterday's lesson on simplifying fractions. 6 and 9, 3 goes into both of those. 3 goes into 6 2 times, 3 goes into 9 3 times. 17, 2 doesn't work. 1 and 17, the greatest common factor is 1. So now I take my 17 and I multiply it by 3. So I'm going to be left with 51. And my 2 times 1 equals 2. So now, looking at step F, changing proper fractions into mixed numbers, I have 51 over 2. We know that 25 goes into 50 twice, or 51 twice. So I'm going to do 25 as my whole number. I have 1 left over. So my correct answer is 25 1/2. Again, compared to my estimate, 25 1/2 is close to 27. I'm now going to give you 4 problems that I want you to work on your own at home and submit these answers onto Edmodo. So when you turn in your assignment, or show me that you watched the video, I want you to write these 4 problems in the answer, or give me the answers to these 4 problems. The first one is 5 1/3 times 6 3/5. Number 2, 1 3/8 times 4 5/6. Number 3, let's do 8 times 3 3/4. And the last one, number 4, let's do 2 5/8 times 3 4/9.